This is where it all started, right here at Becky's Diner. This is where we had our first date. And I was wicked nervous before I got here that morning. And I was out here waiting early for you, and when you pulled up, you were more beautiful than I had ever imagined. And you asked if you could give me a hug, and I said yes, and you gave the best hugs I've ever felt. And we came back here for a second date later on that day, because I wasn't ready to call it quits. We spent a whole 8 hours that Sunday having our date, and it was something special. And we've come back a few times since, and it's still special every single time. And this is the tree you parked underneath with your car that day. When we were done with our date that night, I asked you if I could walk you to the car, and you said yes, and I walked you over here, and I said, hey, you better start your car to make sure it starts. And you started your car, and the music was blasting. You kind of turned it down a little bit, but not entirely. Then we went to go give each other a hug, and then I kind of moved in for a little bit of a kiss, and you gave me one back. And we ended up spending quite a while kissing here. It was a nice end to the first date. And then I told you, Kendra, get in your car. You asked me later why I said, Kendra, get in the car, and I said, because I was trying to be a gentleman, and I was. 3 days later, you texted and wanted to know if I wanted to see you again. And of course, my answer was yes, and we had a date at the Run-of-the-Mill restaurant in Saco. Then I drove you around in my truck and showed you my neck of the woods, and we ended up over at my house in Old Orchard Beach. After we came back from the Run-of-the-Mill, I asked you if you wanted to come back to my place, and you did. And we got about as far as the kitchen, which isn't very far from the front door, and you started to kiss me right here. Or we started to kiss one another right here in front of the sink. And it was a really nice kiss, and I got a little weak in the knees, and I said, do you think that maybe we could move over to the couch? And you said yes. And I was so darn excited that I wanted to get you over there, and I wanted to make sure that you would have some privacy since we're so close to the road. And so that window right there behind me, I grabbed a hold of the blind to shut the blind, and I didn't realize my own enthusiasm and strength, and I yanked that whole blind right out of the damn window, and the curtain came flying down too, and we just sat there and laughed and laughed and laughed. And that was what I remember most about that night, was us laughing together. So it sure wasn't any surprise the following Friday when we went on a date and I asked you what you wanted to do, that we decided to go see some stand-up comedy at the Gold Room. And again, we spent another night laughing and enjoying one another's company. You had to catch a flight first thing in the morning, but we stayed out all night, and you got on the plane the next day, tired, but from this picture you looked pretty darn happy. We talked to one another for hours each night that you were in Florida, and by the end of the week, I think we pretty much knew how we felt about one another. And I actually told you that I loved you before you even came back. See, you can tell in this picture that I had just told you the night before that I felt that way about you. When I asked you and Garrett to go with me to my nephew's state championship basketball game overnight in Bangor, you didn't hesitate to say yes. Things were starting to get a little serious as we were introducing one another to our families. And speaking of getting to know each other's loved ones, we spent a whole lot of great moments together this year, doing things ranging from concerts and picnics to spending time at your parents' lake house.
You're gonna jump, go that way.
Go get Papa. Go get Papa. Go get Papa. Go get him.
Billy, come. Come on, let's go. And swim.
So this is Harry's Hill, and this is where you and I spent the first week of our summer together in our little camper. And we're back again in August, where you run medical.
love spending time with you, even if it's setting up a crappy little camper and staying on a hill.
We went parasailing. We spent time on segways out in Austin, Texas. This past year has been a year of laughter, a year of love, a year of weaving our lives together. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I've finally found someone who I really want to share my life with.
I finally found someone that knocks me off of my feet. I finally found the one that makes me feel complete. It started over coffee. We started out as friends. It's funny how from simple things the best things begin. This time it's different. It's all because of you. It's better than it's ever been, 'cause we can talk it through. My favorite line was, "Can I call you sometime?" It's all you had to say to take my breath away. This is it. Oh, I finally found someone to share my life. I finally found the one to be with every night. 'Cause whatever I do, it's just got to be you. My life has just begun. I finally found someone. I finally found someone. Did I keep you waiting? I apologize. Baby, that's fine. I will wait forever just to know you were mine. You know I love your hair. Sure it looks right. I love what you wear. Isn't it too tight? But you're exceptional. I can't wait for the rest of my life. This is it. Oh, I finally found someone to share my life. I finally found the one to be with every night. 'Cause whatever I do, it's just got to be you.
Hold on a second. That movie was our journey so far, but I was kind of hoping that you'd spend the rest of my life together with me and the dogs and Garrett and all of everybody. If you'd do me the honor of being my wife. We're married.
Yes. Oh, you make me so happy.
You make me happy, so that's perfect. I love you.